minute left, Sixers up by 2. Embiid drilling into the paint, spins, throws an elbow to the jaw of Jared Allen. Take a look at this. The refs would decide on a flagrant one. Here's what Embiid had to say about it post-game.
I got him pretty good, and I'm sorry about it, but okay. I'm sorry about it. It wasn't intentional, but it's just me trying to be aggressive. I'm not usually humble, that's why he's laughing. But yeah, I was just trying to be aggressive.
Okie dokie. All right, third quarter, Sixers up by 6. Ben Simmons driving into the paint, finds Embiid, who throws down the dunk. Sixers win and tie the series up at 1. Embiid finished with 23 points. Now, let's get you back to First Take.
I was with Charles Barkley on that one. He went for it. All right, Philly, even up the series at home. Yeah.
By the way, you kind of give your intent away when you have to pause and laugh for a full minute.
But Shaq and Kenny were defending him. Did you see it?
I mean, sure they're going to defend him because they, you know, if you know anything about Shaq and Barkley, they don't mind the physicality. They think there should be more of it. The NBA game is too soft.
Shaq defended it, but Barkley was like, it was definitely intentional.
Right.
Of course.
All right.
But Embiid just admitted it.
Yeah, totally. Max, we'll stay focused, though. Are the Sixers ready to take over the series?
Yeah, the series is over. Maybe if the Nets, you know, if the Sixers take their foot off the gas, they'll lose one more game, maybe. They ain't going 7. People forget about, and by the way, when they put, what's his name, Bolden in?
Yeah.
Stephen A., at one point, the shortest guy on the court was 6'7". It was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the shortest guy on the court. When you have Bolden in at the 4, and you have Simmons and Butler and Tobias Harris and Embiid or Boban, it's just too much size. But beyond that, I think, because I've even said, like, Simmons needs to get away from Embiid to really be at his best. But the fact of the matter is, and then I kind of, like, they put him in the dunker position. That seemed to work. When was the last time 2 guys basically coming up together at this size, a point guard and a center, were this good, were this talented? Shaq and Penny? Kareem and Magic, though Kareem was older? Like, we've rarely seen this in the history of the league. Simmons and Embiid are differently talented at their size. And then when you support it with a cast like Jimmy Butler, who's been doing what he's had to do these playoffs, Tobias Harris, who's elevated his game this whole season, even you're bringing Boban off the bench, it's too much size, too much talent. The Nets are plucky the way the Clippers are. They have some players, but it's just a talent mismatch. I don't care that the Nets are deeper and all that stuff. The Sixers are going to win this in 5 or maybe 6 games.
First of all, you're wrong about something. This series is not over. And you can't count the Brooklyn Nets out for 2 reasons. Number 1, because they're pesky is every bit as pesky as you said. And number 2, because the Philadelphia 76ers are not the Golden State Warriors. That's the reality of the situation. You can't depend on the Sixers to do what they did last night. All 5 starters shot the ball at least 10 times. 4 of the 5 starters shot the ball 12 times. The leading, not the leading scorer, but the leading shot taker was Boban Marjanovic. He took 14 shots.
Why not?
Okay, I'm saying that's not going to happen. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying you can't depend, you can't rely on what you saw last night. Last night was an aberration. This series is going to go 6 games minimum, possibly 7. Do I think the Sixers are going to win the series? Yes, but I think it's going to be a nail-biter. I'm not counting the Brooklyn Nets out by a long shot.
6, they can make 7, 8. I mean, I'm counting, it's getting close to 10.
What do you mean?
You said you can't count them out. I'm counting them out.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. I appreciate that because I didn't catch that for a second. But the bottom line is I think it's going to go 6 games minimum, possibly 7, because I think that Brooklyn can attack the Sixers' depth. You yourself have brought up concerns about Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons played lights out last night. The night before, the game before, he was awful. He's not.
But he's reliable. A matchup nightmare for them.
He is a natural nightmare for them, a matchup nightmare for them. But that's when he's playing his game, which he doesn't always do. And so what I'm saying to you is that I think that he can do it for 3 more games, and they will do it for 3 more games. But it ain't going to be 3 straight games. It ain't going to be 3 or 4 games in my estimation. I think it's one of those situations. I could see this becoming a 7-game series, more like 6, because I think that Brooklyn and Philly will split. Philly wins Game 5, and then it's a matter of whether or not Brooklyn's going to go home and protect their home turf with a Game 6 win. But I could see this series going 7 games, minimum 6.
What the Sixers reminded me of last night, you know, the timing may not be right to have a dynasty in Philadelphia just because Embiid's physical issues, right, may slow him down by the time Simmons ascends. But let's not forget, Ben Simmons is, what, 20 now? It's his 2nd year in the league. And I think part of like Simmons isn't so good as we thought is because he's so young.
That was you. You started that by saying you would trade him.
Right.
Because of him and Embiid. He wasn't questioning his skill, but I'm saying you were talking about trading him.
Because for each guy, for Simmons to get the most out of his ability, to reach his full potential, it may have to be without Embiid. I still believe that. But Ben Simmons, like you look at what the Greek Freak is doing now, MVP level without a shot, that's just a matter of time for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but the problem is, Max, we ain't talking about time as if it's next season. We talk about now. Last time I checked, Ben Simmons going to still be 20 as this series unfolds. You got to, nobody's disputing what you're saying if we talking about the future of Ben Simmons. That's why you don't trade him, because he's a superstar in the making, a jump shot away from being the second coming of LeBron as far as I'm concerned. But right now, he can't shoot beyond 5 feet from the basket. He's no perimeter threat whatsoever. Embiid's health is still a question mark, even though I don't think it's that big of a question mark right now. And I look at their absence of depth, and I'm not counting out Brooklyn and what they're going to look like at the Barclays Center.
Even given their absence of depth, even given Simmons' age and all that stuff, and still he's still ascending. I'm telling you, legit, it's injury. Like if Embiid isn't playing, nothing you can do.
I'm not saying it's not.
You know what? I take it back. Even if Embiid wasn't there, they got Boban. You can't stop him on the inside. I'm telling you, teams as talented as the Sixers don't lose series to teams like the Nets.
No one predicted they would lose. We're saying that whether or not it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Nobody's predicting the Sixers
could go
going to
6,
lose.
maybe.